Theory of Architecture, Master Architect. Hi, my name is Jerome Gibada, and this presentation is all about life and history in the world of architecture of Arata Isozaki. Life and history. Arata Isozaki was born in North Kyushu, Japan in July 23, 1931. He is a Japanese architect, teacher, and tourist. In the 1960s and 1970s, he was a leading member of the Japanese New Wave movement, an avant-garde conceptual approach to architecture. One of the best known of the group of avant-garde Japanese architects of the late 20th century. Isozaki was born to an upper-class family and they studied architecture in the University of Tokyo. Upon graduation, he became apprentice for 9 years to Kenzo Tange, a leading Japanese architect of the post-war period. We know that Kenzo Tange in 1960s work took more boldly dramatic form with the use of reinforced concrete and innovative engineering. One of the foremost Japanese architects in the decades following World War II, Tange worked in the office of Mikawa Kuno. It's a Japanese architect noted for his design of community center and his work in concrete. After graduation from Tokyo University in 1928, Mikawa studied with the architect Le Corbusier in Paris for 2 years. Charles Edward Jenner, known as Le Corbusier, is one of the pioneers of what is now called a modern architecture. So, influences. Nearly all the leading 20th century Japanese designers have attempted to synthesize indigenous tradition with Western form, materials, and technology. Isozaki's style has in fact been series of modes that have come as a response to these influences. As a young architect, he was identified with metabolism. So, a metabolism or a metabolist movement, city of future. A metabolism was an important urban architecture, artistic and philosophical movement that Japan produced in 20th century. Its influence went beyond the utopian concept of the concept that was experiencing rapid economic growth in the early 60s and it materialized in specific projects, not only in Japan but also beyond the archipelago. Metabolism is a legendary movement in architecture that occurred in 1960 in Tokyo. Previously, Metabolism was known as an artistic movement in architecture by the group of radical architects who came out with impressive visionary drawing of the city of future. So, the birth of metabolism in the era of metabolism. So, in the left side, Kenzo Tange in front of his plant, Tokyo in 1960, and in the right side, sa Metabolism, the City of Future magazine. So, in this metabolism movement, there are some proposals like a Shokoika Press and Broadcasting Tower, the Nakagin Capsule Tower building, the Metropolitan Edo Tokyo Museum, the Miyakonoho Civic Center, the Butillion Takara Osaka Expo, Kyushu Kurokawa 1970. In this metabolism movement, Arata Isozaki proposed the Joint Core System in 1960 and the City in the Air Arata Isozaki in 1961. The Joint Core System is the plan assembled large horizontal arm around vertical element forming group of offices. It was integrated into the plan for Tokyo by Tange's master. In the City in the Air, Arata Isozaki 1961, the young architect, dissatisfied with the choice of Tokyo, raised an orderly city, completely separated from that laden space, whose branches were born from central mega column. However, Isozaki minimized his connection to this group, seeing that metabolism style is overly utilitarian in tone. By contrast, in 1960, Isozaki's work featured dramatic form through the design of branch bank of the mid-1960s and are characteristics of early phase of Isozaki career. The Oita branch bank 1966 is representative of the group. It's a powerful cantilever in the right side. Upper stories are more characteristics of his English contemporary James Stirling than of any of his fellow Japanese architects. In the 1970s, Isozaki's architecture became more historical in its orientation, suggesting a connection with the postmodern movement in Europe and the United States. His sources included classical Western architect, especially Andrea Palladio, Etienne Laux Bolts, and Claude Nicolas Ledoux. So this connection is Isozaki did acknowledge, and his work of the 1970 represent a mature synthesis of formal, functional, and technical consideration. A representative work of his period is his Fujimi Country Club in Oita City, constructed in 1973, which displayed the love of pure from that also characterized 18th century French neoclassicism. So the Fujimi Country Club is the example of Arata Isozaki's work in 1970, who's characterized by becoming more historical in its orientation. Let's go to the notable works. The Oita Prefectural Library in 1966. It's a metabolism-influenced structure, the growing architecture, brutalism and metabolism, and the concrete construction. So it's a Oita Prefectural Library. So as you can see, it's a brutalism and metabolism style. The Shukusha Building. It's an art gallery, concrete building, urban context in the modern style. So it's a Shukusha Building. As you can see, a canopy, flat roof, and window as design. The Museum of Contemporary Art, or MOCA. A more personal innovations incorporating postmodern ideas and contextual architecture. Receive attention to the location they were built. So this is a Museum of Contemporary Art. The Team Disney Building. Location is near Orlando, Florida. Type, creative commercial office. A concrete construction system from a humid climate, and the style is a postmodern. Isozaki employed this yin-yang theory of positive and negative space with a central tower that was very powerful sculpture looking toward the sky. So this is a Team Disney Building. Art Tower in Mito. Art Tower is a complex in Mito, Ibakari, Prefectural, Japan. It opened in 1990 as part of the centennial celebration of the municipality in Mito. There is a concert hall that seats 690, a theater for up to 363, a contemporary art gallery, and the landmark tower. So the architects say Arata Isozaki. So this is a art tower in Mito. Next is Art Nova. Art Nova, or the world first inflatable concert hall. It looks like a giant eggplant, it blows up like a balloon, and it's roomy enough to host classical music and concert for an audience of 500 people. So like an eggplant, the first world inflatable concert hall is Art Nova. Art Nova is a pneumatic structure made from an elastic shell that can be quickly inflated and dismantled. It was designed by British sculptor Anish Kapoor and Japanese architect Arata Isozaki. So in the right side, the interior of the inflatable concert hall, Art Nova. Next is the Kitakushu Municipal Museum of Art. It consists of two elongated cubes, rest of the design submerged. Cubes entrance hall covered with marble. In the lower portion, rusticated concrete. The upper portion, use of bricks. So this is a Kitakushu Municipal Museum of Art. Next, the Qatar National Convention Center. It's one of the most sophisticated convention center exhibition center built today. So the interior of Qatar National Convention Center. So let's go to the award. Isozaki's excellence was recognized in his native country and around the world. He is considered one of the world's most illustrious architects, winning international award. So the annual prize Architectural Institute of Japan in 1974, the Mainichi Art Award in 1983, the Riba Gold Medal in 1986, and the International Award Architecture in Stone in 1987. the Arnold Brunner Memorial Prize of the American Academy and Institute of Art and Letters in 1988, the Chicago Architecture Award in 1990, Honor Award, the American Institute of Architects in 1992, and the RIBA Honorary Fellow in 1994. So the RIBA Gold Medal in 1986, so it is a Royal Gold Medal. So, the Sculpt Shanghai Himalaya Center sa sculpture of architect Arata Isozaki is an organic cave-like the artist's sculpture masterpiece for 20th century. This and last but not least, references, and for further reading, an excellent source for background information of Arata Isozaki.